4 days ago, GPT-5 dropped and everyone's talking about the features. But here's the truth. Features don't make you money. Opportunities do. So while most people are busy learning how to use GPT-5, I spent 48 hours mapping every business opportunity that it creates. And what I found literally surprised me. 12 untapped plays that you could start right now before your competitors even know they exist. These are not theoretical. I know for sure that they work, and I will show you the market demand. Not only that, but I'm going to show you exactly how to validate each one in 48 hours or so that you know for sure if they are worth pursuing for you. So look, when a big shift happens, like GPT-5, the real wins go to the people who act before everyone else even understands what changed. So these 12 opportunities exist because GPT-5 can now do things that it simply couldn't do before. The market hasn't caught up yet, which means that you have a window. So I've broken them into 3 timelines so you know exactly where to start. Number 1, we're going to start with immediate one. Next, we will talk about short-term opportunities. These are plays that take about 1, 2, 3 months to build, and then we're going to talk about long-term ones. These are bigger bets that need maybe 3, sometimes up to 12 months, but they give you a moat that your competitors cannot cross. So you want to pick one that matches your skills and your time, validate it as fast as you can, and then you can be one of the first in your market. So, opportunity number 1. Imagine building apps without grinding through months of coding and still charging premium rates. This is called vibe coding. And essentially what it is using GPT-5 to generate 80 to 90% of your code while you focus on the design, the logic, and the feel of the product. So you don't anymore need to be buried in the syntax, but you can focus on designing the experiences. And the reason why I wanted to start with this is because vibe coding went from niche to acquisition ready in a few months. And that startups like Lovable and Replit, they hit over $100 million in annual recurring revenue using this approach. And Wix just bought a vibe coding startup for $80 million after 6 months, according to TechCrunch. So look, clearly the market is exploding. And I think Precedence Research showed that custom software development is a $53 billion industry today, growing nearly 22% a year. And small businesses want tailored solutions that big software cannot give them. So here are your steps to make this happen. First of all, pick a niche that needs a custom tool. Maybe that's scheduling or analytics or workflows or community features. And then as your first step, you want to build 3 example apps that show your capability. And then go and validate. Find 3 local businesses and offer to build them a tool. And then you can go ahead and charge fixed fee per project or offer ongoing support. Most developers are still in the old line by line mindset. So if you can walk into a client meeting and say, I can have a working beta in a week, you are going to basically create a category of 1. And I know that for sure because we are doing that in our agency. Now, before we dive in, I think it's important for you to know if you can actually pull this off, not just in theory and by watching me, but in the real world. And if you have the right resources, the right skills, and everything else that it takes in order to make this successful. So let me share with you my 48-hour validation method. So step number 1, you need a market test. And that is quite simple. Do you already know, or can you easily reach 10 people in your network or in your community who might pay for this? Because if you don't have access to the right audience, you will spend months just trying to get in front of them, which kills your first mover advantage. Step number 2 is your technical test. Do you personally have the skills to implement this right now, or could you learn them in a week or less? Because if you need months of training or expensive specialists, it's better to pick an opportunity that you can deliver on today. Step number 3 is about your competition test. In the circles that you move in, is anyone already doing this? And if they are, could you offer something that is unique or faster or maybe more tailored to a niche that you understand deeply? Because if the answer is yes, you have an edge, but if not, you'll have to work much harder to stand out. And step number 4, that is your scale test. If it works for you, could you grow it beyond your own time and energy? Could you delegate, or could you automate, or could you replicate the process for multiple clients without burning out? If not, it's probably a side project, and that's fine, but it probably won't become a real business. But if you do pass all these 4 tests, then you've got something that you can act on immediately. On the contrary, if you do fail one or say no to some of these, then I think you just saved yourself weeks or maybe even months of chasing an opportunity that you can't realistically execute on right now. Opportunity number 2. So, look. Most businesses know they need content, blog posts, newsletters, LinkedIn updates, but they either don't have a team or their team can't produce enough to keep up. And what I like about GPT-5 is that it now comes with a massive update. it can now write like a human and keep deep industry context, which means that you can create high quality on-brand content in a fraction of the time. And I think I mentioned this before, but the content marketing industry is worth $600 billion according to Market Research Future. I mean, that's absolutely mind-blowing, and it is growing. But most companies either outsource to expensive agencies or they settle for some generic, low-performing posts. But GPT-5 lets you deliver industry-specific content at scale, with research, with code, with accuracy already baked in. Now, how do I know that? Well, I own one of these agencies, and I know that the monthly recurring revenue could become quite interesting. So, how should you get started? Obviously, pick an industry that you already understand. Maybe it's tech, maybe it's finance, maybe it's healthcare or real estate, and then build a library of 10, 15 sample pieces that are showing different formats, maybe blog posts or LinkedIn posts or newsletters, case studies, and then go ahead and pitch 5 companies with a done-for-you content calendar that speaks their language. Because I promise you, if you can commit to a business 20 plus high-quality industry-relevant pieces every single month without the delays or the costs of traditional agencies, you are going to be selling growth on autopilot. Opportunity number 3. This is related to real estate, because ask any real estate agent what they wish for, and they will probably all give you the same answer. Time. Between chasing leads and qualifying buyers and following up, they are spending hours every week on conversations that sometimes never convert. And GPT-5 now offers a vastly improved, much more conversational experience, which supports long, context-aware dialogue and customizable personalities with very few errors. And this makes it far more promising for applications like lead qualification or appointment flows, although real-world use will still need testing and guardrails. So, let me be a bit more specific. Most agents still rely on outdated CRMs, clunky autoresponders, or virtual assistants who obviously cannot work 24/7. And what I really like is that with GPT-5, it basically makes it possible to give every lead instant, personalized attention, which means more showings, more offers, more closed deals at the end of the day. But obviously, this would need to be done as part of an AI agent and not just directly in your browser with ChatGPT. How do you go about it? Great question. First, partner with one agent who is willing to test your AI agent for a week for free. And you want to feed GPT-5 their scripts, their FAQs, their follow-up process so that it mirrors their style. And then integrate it with their calendar and CRM so that qualified leads go straight to their calendar. You probably want to use an A10 for that. And by the way, if you're interested, I'm more than happy to make a video where I show you step-by-step how to do this. Just let me know in the comments. Now, if you can take lead follow-up completely off a real estate agent's plate and still increase their closings, you are basically selling them their time back. And in real estate, time is money. So you are doing them a huge favor. Now, idea number 4, this has to do with healthcare because doctors did not go to medical school to spend half their day typing. But small medical practices are drowning in patient notes and transcriptions and insurance forms, all of which must be accurate and compliant. Now, one of the changes that GPT-5 has brought to the table is that it's now scoring far higher on healthcare benchmarks, which essentially means that it can process messy and unstructured notes and turn them into clean and compliant documentation that is ready for record and referrals and billing. And the reason why I think you should look into this is because big hospitals have expensive software and dedicated admin teams, but smaller practices, they don't. And their staff are already overloaded. I mean, a service that handles documentation quickly and accurately and securely can save hours per day and improve patient care. And I know this works because somebody in our founders community is pursuing something very similar. So what do you need to do? First of all, learn HIPAA compliance and set up a secure encrypted workflow. Then offer to digitize and format records for one small practice, just as a pilot. And then use that experience to fine-tune templates and workflows before scaling. Now look, if you can give a doctor back even, 5 hours or maybe 10 hours a week, you are going to be saving them a lot of time, but you're also helping them see more patients and earn more and reduce burnout. And that is a service that is going to be something they will always want to keep paying for. Now, opportunity number 5. This one has to do with a broader consulting space because every industry is asking the same question right now. How do we use AI without wasting money? Most companies are still guessing. And this idea is to become an AI transformation consultant. And here you would focus on one industry that you know, maybe it's law firms or consulting or construction or healthcare, and then map the workflows for them. So I'm not saying that you should be selling a chatbot. I'm saying that you should be selling a full transformation plan and if you can, also the implementation. If not, that's totally fine. We sometimes just sell the consulting and not the implementation necessarily. I mean, as I said, we do offer that as well in our AI agencies. So I know. And I think the really good part about this is that many clients book follow-up retainers for ongoing optimization, or they want you to work with them for implementation. So how are you going to get started with this? First of all, clearly pick an industry that you already understand deeply. You will waste a lot of time if you don't. Then map their top 5 repetitive or high-cost workflows. And then design, or if you can, also implement AI solutions that save time, cut costs, and increase revenue. And trust me, if you can walk into a boardroom and say, here's how we are going to cut your costs by 30% in 90 days, I mean, that's your closing line right there. Opportunity number 6. So this one has to do with hybrid opportunity between human and AI, and it has to do with customer service. Because look, as much as we would like to overlook this, pure AI support still misses the mark in sensitive or nuanced situations. But combining AI speed with human judgment is a customer service superpower. And GPT-5 handles the bulk of inquiries like FAQs and order tracking and troubleshooting, and then humans can step in for, high-value cases or complex ones. And then this way, clients will get faster service, lower costs, and higher customer satisfaction. And I think there is no better timing to do this really, because customer expectations are rising and bad support clearly kills loyalty. And I think this hybrid model could offer instant responses as well as the human empathy, which clearly only humans could deliver. How do you get started? Pick a niche with high support volume. Maybe that's e-commerce, maybe that's SaaS, maybe subscription services. And then train GPT-5 on past tickets, product knowledge, and brand tone. And then you can offer this as a fixed fee monthly package that covers the bulk of their support load. Because look, if you can make customer service faster, cheaper, friendlier in one package, I'm pretty sure that you'll have solved a pain point that every business feels. Now, opportunity number 7. So this one is something that I find really, really interesting, and I might make a bigger video about it. If you're interested, do let me know. And this has to do with automating business research, because I see it all the time. Decision makers waste hours sifting through reports and news and data. So what you can do is give them the insights without the noise. So you would be doing automated business research services where you would be using GPT-5 to gather and summarize and analyze industry trends and competitor moves and market opportunities, and then give them in a clear, actionable format to your client. And I think this is brilliant because the volume of information is exploding, but attention spans are not. And leaders want quick and reliable briefs that they can act on right now. So how would you do that? Choose a sector, maybe it's finance, maybe it's investing, tech, retail, and then define the type of information and intelligence that they would need. And then set up GPT-5 workflows to collect and analyze the right sources daily or weekly. And then package those insights maybe into a report, or even better, into a dashboard. I think that if you can put the right data in front of the right people at the right time, you are giving them a massive strategic advantage, and anyone would want to pay for that. Now, opportunity number 8. This one has to do with the legal industry, which I used to work in. Most legal work is repetitive, especially document drafting. And GPT-5 has improved reasoning, which makes it possible to create accurate and compliant drafts in a fraction of the time. I mean, think contracts or NDAs or wills or lease agreements, all customized and all fast. So you're not replacing the lawyer, but you're giving them a head start at a lower cost, if that makes sense. And I mean, in terms of whether this is profitable or not, I think we can all agree that legal services tend to be on the more expensive side. But how do you get started with this? You want to specialize in a document type. It's easier, niche down to blow up. So maybe it's real estate leases, maybe it's startup contracts, something like that. And then use GPT-5 as your main drafter, but then human review to make sure that you have accuracy and compliance and all of that. And then offer per document pricing or maybe discounted bundles. Because honestly, if you can turn around a high quality draft in a couple hours instead of days, I think you not only beat the traditional legal process at its own game, but you are going to fill a huge gap in the market. Now, opportunity number 9. This is something that I am genuinely passionate about, and it has to do with business model generation. Because many founders spend years figuring out how to make money. So what you can do is help them do it much faster, maybe even weeks. So you could build an AI business model generator using GPT-5 to design complete, validated business models for specific industries. And you can include pricing or target markets or customer acquisition strategies and revenue forecast models. So you are going to step away from giving them, I don't know, a PDF, but give them a plan that they can execute on tomorrow. And what I like is that GPT-5 can now connect market data and competitor analysis and industry trends into actually coherent strategies, which earlier models were not very good at. And that means that you have more accurate, faster business plans that investors can actually take seriously. If your AI-assisted plans consistently outperform, then your deal flow becomes an asset in itself. So how do you do that? You want to pick a sector, maybe that's e-commerce or health tech or SaaS, and then build a framework that merges GPT-5 outputs with your own business expertise. So you do need to have your own experience here. Otherwise, obviously, you wouldn't be able to add much value if you're just relying on the information and insight from GPT-5 itself. And then you can offer a flat fee model, or you can offer an equity plus cash deal for much higher upside, I would say. So I think this is a really, really interesting one because a lot of people have, the idea on a napkin, but if someone can take that and turn it into an investor-ready plan in a couple weeks, then there's a lot of opportunity for this, definitely. Now, idea number 10. So this is a little bit related to one of the previous ones, but it's a very specific industry. So here I'm talking about investment research that you do in an automated way with AI. Because clearly, investors drown in data, but they starve for insight. And we can fix that. If we think about building an automated investment research platform that uses GPT-5 to scan markets and earning calls and news and filings, and then distill everything into actionable reports and maybe put that into a dashboard, I think that is so much more than data. It's a signal that many investors would be interested in having access to. And I mean, for this one, always would be a good time because markets move fast and missing a single data point can cost millions sometimes. And GPT-5 has improved reasoning, which means that now you can spot patterns and risks and see things that previously were even to analysts, but probably invisible. So think about this. If you have any experience with investing, you can start with one asset class, maybe stock, maybe crypto, maybe real estate, and then build GPT-5 prompts and automations to track the metrics that matter. And then you can package that maybe as a subscription or a nice dashboard. Now, idea number 11 is again something that we are doing ourselves, and that has to do with AI-powered training and development because companies are under pressure to reskill their employees really fast, and traditional training is slow, generic, and quite expensive. And building an AI-powered training service allows you to create custom learning programs that are tailored to one specific company or to the broader industry, down to the role or the goals, and complete with interactive exercises and role plays or instant feedback. And as I said, I know this because we do this. And AI-assisted personalization can double completion rates and retention. So you really want to look into this if you want to add that sort of education and enablement layer onto any industry that you're familiar with. So how are you going to win at this? Well, pick a high turnover or fast-changing industry. Maybe it's sales or tech or healthcare, and then build a curriculum template and then customize it per client using that knowledge and obviously GPT-5. And then what you can also do is include metrics dashboards so that their HR team can track progress and ROI. Because based on what I've seen, if you can cut onboarding time in half and boost performance, then you are going to sell a huge competitive advantage to that company. Now, last but not least, this is one that I am so excited about, and it has to do with predictive analytics, because every CEO wants to see the future, and you can give it to them. You can build a predictive business intelligence service using GPT-5 to analyze past performance and current market data and external factors, and then forecast outcomes and recommend proactive moves. For example, we do that with our own YouTube analytics data, just to give you an idea. And I think there is no better time to do this because earlier AI could describe what happened, but GPT-5 is a lot better at explaining the why and also project the what's next. Adding predictive capability turns those reports into a much higher value asset for any business. So practically, how do you do this? Again, you want to pick an industry, ideally one that is more volatile, something like logistics or manufacturing or retail, and then connect GPT-5 to data sources and train it to spot your client's key indicators. And then you can deliver those insights that are executive ready, either in a report or in a dashboard. Because if you can give a CEO a heads up before a problem or an opportunity, you are going to become their best friend immediately. So look, we've covered a lot in this video. I hope you found them valuable, but I have a challenge for you. Do not try all 12. Pick one, preferably one from the immediate category so that you can validate it as soon as possible, ideally this week, and then spend 48 hours running the validation method that I share with you in the beginning. And if even 3 out of 10 people show you genuine interest, you have found a winner. Look, the difference between people who watch videos like this one and people who win is action. Massive and urgent action. So go ahead, give one of these ideas a try. Let me know in the comments down below how it's going. And if you do want to practice these with over 10,000 other people who are on the exact path as you are, and we can talk to each other and learn from each other and share what we're doing and how it's going, then you are more than welcome to join our free community. The link is going to be here as well as down below. We also have a founders community where we take you through a precise step-by-step process over 90 days so that you can take that business idea and turn it into an actual business with more guidance and support. All right. Thank you so much for watching this video until the end. I am so grateful that you chose to be here for all this time and that you chose us to give us your time. I'm so humbled every time just thinking that you are doing that. Thank you so much. I really hope that you found this video helpful. Like it if you did. Be sure to subscribe if you haven't done so. And also share this with anyone in your circle of friends or family who you think might benefit from learning about these 12 ideas and giving one of them a try. Until next time, I suggest you go ahead and watch this video over here, and I'll see you soon. Bye.